Well, I'm a huge believer in internal audit. I have a rather old-fashioned view that boards have to be at the centre of a business, and it's the board's responsibility to be at the centre and to know what's going on. One of the best ways for a board to know what is going on is having effective internal audit. And I take a very, very broad view of the importance of internal audit. Of course, it has a vital role in testing control mechanisms and testing the processes within a company. I think it has also a much broader view, which is almost the state of mind of the company, the culture of the company, the risk culture of the company. So I always encourage my internal auditors to think big and to think what an important role they have within the company. Culture's become extraordinarily important in business because no matter how elaborate your control processes are, if the culture is wrong, people will find a way around it. Now, I'm often asked what is good culture. That's not so easy to define, but gosh, it's very easy to define bad culture. And I think internal auditors are in a very privileged position because in a way they are outside insiders. They have to bring their objectivity to matters. But if they see things that aren't right, if they see something which fails the smell test, through one way or another, I think it is their obligation to bring that to the attention of those who need to know about it. For example, in my business, I have a monthly private meeting with the head of internal audit. Everybody knows I do that. So that serves two purposes. One, it's very informative for me outside the formal scope of a written internal audit report to have the perceptions of internal audit. But also equally importantly, the whole business, every executive knows I have that relationship with the head of internal audit. And that's an important way of enhancing the status of internal audit, which I think is a vitally important thing. Everybody says that culture has to start at the top, and I'm sure that's right, but culture just can't start at the top. It somehow has to float all the way down the business as well. So it's the board's job to set the right tone, but then to agree with the executives, how is that right tone transmitted throughout the business? And the people who ought to know whether that transmittal process has worked properly or not, I think are internal audit. Internal audit is a highly skilled profession, but in the same way business world changes all the time, I think internal auditors have to continue to evolve. Now, it's very easy to list the technical skills which an internal auditor should have, but I'm also keen that internal auditors develop what you might call psychological skills. I think they have to understand the state of mind of a company. I think they have to understand the psychology of the company, because if the psychology of a company is wrong, no matter how good your control processes are, something will go wrong. Now, this is a rather ill-defined area, and of course we have to try to make it as objective as we can, but some of these matters are inherently subjective. I don't mind that. Internal audit may not always get it right, but to have them out and about as the eyes and ears of not just the board, but also of the senior executives, I think is very important to a company. For an internal audit function to be effective, I think it has to be respected. I think it has to have insights. I think it has to have technical competence. But I also feel that it has to have passion. It should care about what it does. It has to have commitment. It should really want the company and its processes to be better. And of course it has to have integrity. If internal audit doesn't have integrity, what does it have? and it has to be prepared to display that integrity in the face of difficulties, in the face of adversity, politely but firmly, making sure that the real facts of a situation are laid before the board and senior management.